You are sitting, doing nothing in particular. Everything is fine. You are safe. You have food. You are warm. And yet, something feels wrong. The wrongness has no cause. That is what makes it so uncomfortable. An itch you cannot scratch, a restlessness with no object. The very discomfort is the point. The discomfort is designed to move you. A feeling that you should be doing something, but you cannot think what. The what is not specified. Finding the what is the task. Boredom, the most underrated feeling in the human experience, one of the most unpleasant feelings in the human experience, and one of the most puzzling because it seems pointless. Why feel bad for no reason? Why does the brain create this feeling at all? What is boredom actually for? The answer is surprising and useful. Once you know it, boredom becomes something different.
First, let us be clear about what boredom actually is. Boredom is not just having nothing to do. You can spend a day doing nothing and feel restored, or you can spend a day in meetings and feel bored. You can have nothing to do and feel perfectly at peace. Meditation, rest, contemplation, all involve doing very little. None of them are boring, because in those states, the mind is engaged with itself, with stillness, with presence. Boredom is something more specific. It is the feeling of wanting to engage, of having attention that seeks an object, and finding nothing that feels worthy. Worthy, that word matters. The brain is not looking for just anything. It is looking for something real. It is not passive emptiness. It is active seeking without satisfaction. This distinction matters. Boredom is not rest. It is frustrated engagement. Your brain wants to engage. It cannot find anything worth engaging with, and it tells you loudly. That loud telling is the point. Discomfort is the mechanism.
So why does this feeling exist? Because in the ancient world, boredom was a signal, not a curse, not a punishment, a useful, functional signal, a very important one. It said, you have capacity that is not being used, capacity that, in the ancient world, was always needed. Your mind is not being used. Your body is not being used. Something is wrong. In the ancient world, idle meant vulnerable. A resting predator does not take a day off. A gap in vigilance costs lives. There was always something that needed doing. The ancient world did not have 5 minutes of nothing. Every moment had a task competing for it. Track game, gather food, make tools, watch for danger, care for the young. The list never ended. Every idle moment was a missed opportunity. A human who felt fine doing nothing was a human who was falling behind. The brain that felt uncomfortable being idle survived better. Boredom was the brain's way of saying, get up, do something, use your capacity. Every human who has ever lived has heard this signal. It is universal, one of the oldest internal management systems humans have.
And here is where it gets interesting. Boredom does not just push you toward any activity. Mindless repetition does not satisfy boredom. Entertainment barely dents it. It pushes you specifically toward exploration and creativity. Not toward eating, not toward sleeping, toward discovery. When boredom sets in, the brain shifts into a mode called the default mode network. It includes the medial prefrontal cortex and the posterior cingulate cortex, first described in 2001 by Marcus Reichel, active specifically when the brain is not focused on a task. This is the state where the brain wanders, makes connections, generates ideas. It is the state of daydreaming, of sudden insight, of creative thinking. Einstein said his best ideas came not from work, but from letting his mind drift. The state in which the brain connects things it would never connect when focused. Some of the best ideas in human history arrived during boredom. Not during meetings, not during focused work, during the wandering mind. Newton and the apple, Archimedes in the bath, Darwin on a long walk, all of them bored, all of them letting their minds wander. Not from focused, busy, productive activity, from idle, wandering minds. Boredom forces the brain to create its own stimulation, and sometimes that stimulation is genius. The next idea you have might come from the boredom you refuse to kill. The brain left to wander often arrives somewhere the directed mind would never go.
But here is the problem. We have solved boredom. Every human who lived before screens experienced boredom regularly, deeply, unavoidably. Or at least we think we have. The phone, the stream, the feed, the endless content. Any moment of boredom can now be instantly filled. Within 3 seconds of any boredom signal, the phone is out. A spare second on a bus, a queue, a moment before sleep. Every gap in stimulation instantly filled. No boredom allowed to develop. All instantly filled with something. But what if eliminating boredom is a mistake? What if boredom was a signal the brain needed to send, and we have permanently blocked it? What if the boredom signal was doing something important, and we have turned it off?
And here is the twist. We think of boredom as a problem to be solved, as an enemy, something to be eliminated as efficiently as possible. But boredom is not a malfunction, it is a feature. It is the brain saying, you have capacity for something more, not a criticism, an invitation. You are capable of more than this. Your attention deserves better. Go find it. Boredom is the brain's self-respect speaking. It knows what it is capable of, and it refuses to pretend that scrolling is enough. Studies show that people who allow themselves to be bored are more creative. Research by Sandy Mann at the University of Central Lancashire found this consistently. They produce more original ideas. They solve problems in more novel ways. The bored mind does not repeat existing patterns. It searches for new ones. Children who are allowed to be bored develop richer inner lives. They learn to be with themselves, to generate their own engagement. The phone in your pocket is not solving your boredom. It is preventing it. It is giving the attention an easy object, relieving the discomfort before the work begins. And in preventing it, it may be preventing the creativity that boredom was about to produce. The phone is not a solution. It is an interruption of a natural process. A generation that never experiences boredom may be a generation that never accesses its own depths. The next time you feel bored, try this. Do not reach for the phone. Sit with the discomfort. It has something to give you. Let the boredom come. Let the brain wander. See what it finds. Give it 10 minutes, 20. See where it goes. What it finds might surprise you. Your ancestors had no choice but to let the mind wander, and it made them human. The wandering mind, allowed to roam, is where human culture was born. Subscribe. Every day, we dig up one piece of the ancient human story.